Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video on the channel where today we are going to be going through a great 250k squad build. Obviously a lot of people have probably lost a lot of their coins through Black Friday and maybe just need to have some cheaper squads just to kind of build their balance back up. So today we've got a fantastic 250k squad builder. So if you do enjoy the content and you'd like to see more, make sure you do drop a thumbs up. It would be much appreciated. Starting off with the goalkeeper, we have got Gulashi. When it comes to like goalkeepers, just generally in FIFA, they're all kind of very bad, and it doesn't really matter who you go for. The best thing to do is to go for somebody who just fits for chemistry, and just somebody who is really cheap. You know, I don't think you need a super expensive goalkeeper because I think they do generally all play very, very similar. At the left back slot, we are going to go with Alphonso Davies. Now, obviously, a super popular card at the start of the year. Davies obviously got mad pace, you know, 4-star, which is good. You know, obviously that crazy pace. You know, the dribbling is pretty decent. Defending is okay, and physical is nice here. I would probably look to boost maybe his passing and defending, something like that. You know, you could just go straight up give him a sentinel. But Davies is a great card. Pace is the most important stat when it comes to defenders, and obviously Davies has got an abundance of that. When it comes to the first centre back, I'm gonna go with David Alaba. You know, maybe not necessarily the best choice, and you could maybe look at these players and go, it's not the norm. But I think I wanted to do a squad builder today that was good, but just not the norm. You know, something a little bit different. And Alaba is a great centre back. You know, obviously got really good pace. Passing and dribbling is good. Defending is pretty solid. Physicals are nice as well. You know, with a shadow, he would be a great centre back. You know, medium work rates, 4-star weak foot. You know, ball playing centre backs are always really, really good. Obviously, your typical Varanes and Gomez's and Van Dijk's and guys like that are obviously going to be your top tier guys. A good tip as well when you're building squads like we are doing today. The second centre back we're going to be going with is Hernandez. Is when you're building like budget squads like this, best thing to do is always go with cheaper alternatives in defense, because this game primarily is very attack minded. The best thing to do is to save your money for your attackers and your midfielders and go for a cheaper defense, because with an expensive defense or a cheap defense, you are still probably going to concede goals. So you're better off spending your money up top. Hernandez, with that in mind, obviously still a good centre back. You know, high work rate is not ideal, but the pace, defending is very, very good. Dribbling stats in the right areas, the reactions is decent as well. So Hernandez is a great centre back to be using. And then in the right back slot, we're going to be using this Mukiele card, which it's a really good card. You know, obviously a lot of people had the opportunity to get this card. It was available for about 2 weeks. So anyone, unless you've come to the game recently, maybe in the last week or two, most people should have this card. It was an objective card to get. It wasn't very difficult to get. So definitely a card that most people should have been able to get. And again, if you was lucky enough to get that Sabitzer card from the objectives in the last month, you could get a strong link with Mukiele with that Sabitzer card, which is a monster card. So I'm kind of ashamed I didn't take that Sabitzer card, but I went for that Wan Bernat card because it was a bit more useful. But that Mukiele card is a fantastic card, got good stats in all the right areas. Then moving up into the cam slot, we're actually going to be going with Mollet. Now Mollet is a fantastic card this year. Again, was somebody who was available for a long time in the last season. I'll actually get my Mollet if I can. But yeah, Mollet was a great card. You know, he was available for about 30 days and was somebody, it's just an amazing card. You know, with I've stuck a hunter on him, gives him like 94 pace, you know, amazing shooting. The thing about Mollet is his 95 shot power. His shot power is so good. His shooting is fantastic. Obviously got really high dribbling. Passing is really, really good. Decent stamina as well. 4-star, being French, just links to so many players. And that Mollet card is just deadly. He is such a good card. And yeah, somebody that was available for so long. So if you didn't get that Mollet card, you massively missed out. Just somebody who's just going to give you so many good opportunities to build squads going forward. We're then going to go with our next midfielder, which is going to be Sissoko. Sissoko is somebody I still use in my team. You can see I've played 122 games with him. Get so much good use out of him. I'm going to probably be looking to improve to someone else at the top end of FIFA. Maybe Sissoko's just starting to fall behind a little bit, but overall Sissoko, you know, for cheap squads is still one of the best options to go for. You know, got good, you know, decent pace, defending, physical. He's this card that maybe his card doesn't look that great, but in game he just plays so far above it. And those tall, lanky CDMs are so deadly in the game. The next midfielder that we're going to be going with is another midfielder in that mold, and it is Pogba. I come up against a lot of Pogbas in draft, and a lot over this weekend league. I actually managed to get to, I just obviously at the minute played 14 wins, as you guys know. Got to 14-1. Played a lot of Paul Pogba this week, and he was so good at that CDM spot. You know, that Patrick Vieira mold as a CDM. You know, he's got 5-star skill moves as well. You know, decent pace, shooting's nice, passing and dribbling are very, very good. Defending isn't great, but that doesn't seem to matter with Pogba. You know, he's only got 64 interceptions, but just because of those long, lanky limbs, you know, your Sissoko's, your Pogba's, Varane's, Nick Pope, the guys that are really that just look big in game are the ones that are really difficult to defend against, especially in defense. So Pogba in that CDM spot, I wouldn't worry about that defending stat. If you do want to give him more pace, you probably would give him a shadow card anyway. Maybe give him a catalyst, give him pace and passing, but probably a shadow card anyway. And that Pogba is a fantastic guy to have at CDM, regardless of what the stats say. Now, coming in as our left cam, we're actually going to go with Bruno Fernandes. This Bruno Fernandes card is one of my favourites. You know, come on, play with this a lot in draft, and he's a brilliant card. You know, got decent shooting, passing and dribbling are really, really nice. 94 stamina, 4-star, 4-star. Again, it's just a very, very good card. And somebody you don't see a lot. Obviously, people like to go with the typical meta squads. And they are the squads you need to go for if you do want to get, you know, the maximum amount of results. But if you're only playing to 14 wins, for example, like me, you know, you can just kind of mix it up with your team. You can use some different players. You can, you know, if someone like me, I'm comfortable. I can get to 14 wins, 14-1, 14-2. So, you know, you can mix it up and you can use some different players. You don't need the meta squads. And I really like Bruno Fernandes. He's a really nice player to use in this game. Much prefer him to Kevin De Bruyne. Wasn't a big fan of De Bruyne at all when I had him in my squad. Left striker, we are going to be going with Anthony Martial. We've used this guy in 3 squad builders now in a row. But this Martial card, I rave about it so much. You know, he's got fantastic pace. Shooting's really good. Dribbling's nice. Again, stamina and strength are a little bit low, but and the 3-star weak foot as well is not ideal. But Martial is one of those guys in FIFA who just seems to get all the luck, seems to ride all the tackles all the time, and just seems to finish everything. Just seems to have that it factor when it comes to FIFA. You know, a bit like Mbappe, who Mbappe is one of those cards like Martial and like the other striker that we're going to be using. They just seem to have that look factor. You know, you tackle them, they're the ones that you seem to tackle more often than not and just never get the ball back. You know, they seem to always ride your challenges. Their shots always seem to hit the inside of the post and go in rather than hitting the outside of the post. So Martial is just one of those strikers who is very, very lucky. And then the final striker to finish off this team, we're going to be going with Wissam Ben Yedder. Now, obviously, as you guys know, Ben Yedder from last year was a super meta striker. This year, I don't think he's as good. Obviously, has the 4-star, 5-star, which is really good. Decent pace and shooting. You know, dribbling is fantastic as well. Stamina and strength are a little bit low. But again, seems quite irrelevant with Ben Yedder. Just seems to shrug most defenders off regardless of his strength ability. But with a Hunter card, this Ben Yedder is absolutely deadly. Still a phenomenal striker, don't get me wrong. I personally don't think this Ben Yedder card is as good. I imagine when Ben Yedder, if he potentially gets more informs and special cards as the year goes on, you're going to see a lot more Ben Yedders in your team, especially given that he gets obviously that strong link with Mbappe and Neymar and guys like that. You're probably going to see a lot more of Ben Yedder as the year goes on. But I don't personally think he's as good as he was last year. But as we mentioned, once he gets more special cards, that opinion might change quite drastically. But I think this team is absolutely brilliant. Obviously, spent a lot of our money in the attack in the midfield and gone kind of with a cheaper defense, like we mentioned before. But this team's going for around about 280k on Xbox, just a shade over 300k on PlayStation. Obviously, those 2 objective cards do pull the value down as well, so it's important if you've got them. But that is it for today's squad builder, guys. So if you do have any questions regarding this squad, do let me know in the comment section. Make sure you drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. But that is all for today, guys. Have an awesome day. I'm out.